just to follow up, I mean, aren't corporations people too? I mean, just they're an extension. I've got stock in a corporation as a mouthpiece, and it speaks for me in some cases. I mean, couldn't they be considered?
Actually, I believe that corporations are people. In Santa Clara County versus Southern Pacific Railways, it established corporate personhood. And furthermore, footnote 2 of the First National Bank of Boston versus Bellotti extended First Amendment protection to corporations. So therefore, corporations, as in the recent Supreme Court decision, Citizens United, does have the right to political speech.
I do not believe that corporations are people because they don't have the enlightened self-interest. That is what Tocqueville really admired.
However, in Citizens United versus FEC, we can see that, and Justice Stevens in his dissent pointed out that they have perpetual life. That, in addition to my colleagues pointed out of enlightened that they do not have enlightened self-interest because they have in their interest to basically promote what they want. In addition, they have perpetual life, so they are not an individual as we are.
You're all going to go back after this experience and the course you've taken, and you're going to look at a group of your colleagues, student age-wise, who don't participate at very high levels. Certainly in voting, they don't participate at very high levels. What's the killer argument you're going to make to your fellow students of why they should become involved?
The reason as to why students should be involved at a young age is because in his book, Volunteering and Giving in Children 12 to 17 Years of Age, economist Afshan Hussain explains that how when children volunteer more in their youth, they're more likely to be active in the political sphere when they're older. So children should learn to volunteer more in their youth so that they can be more participatory in the public sphere.
I would tell my peers that they should vote in order to influence their government because they feel like the government is so far.
You finish your sentence.
Is so far away and they can't influence it.
Great.
I kind of felt like you were pictures of water that were just filled up to the brim of the top, and we were able to tip a little bit out, but there's a lot more there. You had excellent facts and data that you brought in, relevant and up-to-date kinds of things. I don't think in all my years of judging I've ever had anyone talk about a footnote to a Supreme Court case. So I thought that you really dug down in there very well. But what I want to say is just look around you a little bit here in this room. You are in a very small group of people who have ever had the opportunity to sit at a table like that. It may not have been enjoyable at the time that you did it, but you may look back at it as an enjoyable time and speak your piece. Not many people have that opportunity. I hope that each of you will sometimes come back to testify in this room, hopefully not as among the incriminated, but among the enlightened, and can make some comments to the members of Congress from your expertise. I think you're on the right trajectory to do that.
Yes, I enjoyed your well-informed and spirited contribution. On your point about the expansion of electronic internet information and the greater availability of it, I'd like to have asked you the question that research is showing that what happens is people select the information that they want to entertain or the opinion that they already agree with, as opposed to looking at a controversial point of view. So there is some question of whether or not this mass of information, if it's self-selected and reinforces basic prejudices or inclinations that people already have, if it really is that important a tool today. Your emphasis on education, I think, was good. I kept waiting for you to bring up affirmative action, which has been one of the major ways in which this country has tried to promote both equality of condition and equality of opportunity. I thought your point and your specific citing of the Hewlett-Packard instance was a very good piece. And I had to ask you about how the Constitution or legislation or judicial action had really contributed to that. I think that would have been a good thing to incorporate probably in your initial presentation as well, because it would have rounded out some of the other very fine evidence that you contributed to us. You dropped in the notion of federalism and its importance. That's a good point. And all you need to do was to take the next step and tell us, why does federalism as a concept extend the opportunities to be a participant? On balance, you did a very fine job, and it was a pleasure to hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to also just compliment you on your presentation. The five of you did really well. Obviously, did a lot of research, and maybe all of you knew the answer. That's why everybody was jumping in at the same time. You know, the one thing I think we needed to hear a little bit more was something that was, I think, delved into during the question and answer piece, and that was how the Constitution sort of tries to promote that, and maybe if there were other case law or legislative action since then that sort of pushed the equality and greater opportunity for everyone. I thought your specific examples, citing things like Hewlett-Packard as well, were important. I like the question and answer piece where we were discussing the corporate personhood issue. It's a thing that's important for Alaska. I was actually the sponsor of the bill that passed in Alaska to prevent corporations from spending without sort of sideboards. And so I know there's considerable debate about whether that's, you know, it's still challengeable, I think. And I think we'll see probably something major coming out in the next several years on that. But you guys did a real fine job. I think we've come to expect that from California. And you guys have done an excellent job today. I just appreciate you here. Thanks.